Big update just dropped regarding Roman Reigns' upcoming schedule, so we're going to see what's up there. We're also going to check out another update for Becky Lynch, what's going on with Grayson Waller, and more. Starting things off with Roman Reigns and a major update to his schedule. Coming out of WrestleMania 42, it was a big headline-creating moment when Roman announced himself that he was putting the whole part-time conversation to bed and how he's going to be around full-time throughout the summer. Now, although his actual matches are still pretty rare to see, in terms of just regular appearances, yeah, he's lived up to his word, and he's been appearing pretty regularly throughout the spring and summer months so far. But, that being said, how about late into the summer season and into the fall months? What will Roman's schedule look like during that time period? Well, thankfully, there doesn't have to be any more crazy speculation here because WWE just dropped Roman's entire schedule for the next few months. Roman is scheduled to make WWE television appearances on, ready for it, August 3rd, August 17th, August 28th, September 4th, October 5th, and October 10th for the Money in the Bank event. So, judging based off of this schedule that WWE just released for Roman, it does look like August is really going to be his last appearance-heavy month. And then his schedule really lightens up once the calendar rolls into September. He got only one scheduled appearance in the month of September, and then he's not seen again until the week of Money in the Bank in October. Now, there's lots of buzz and rumors making waves that Roman Reigns is going to continue his world title reign into late 2026, and even some rumblings of him taking the title all the way to WrestleMania 43, where he could potentially face off against someone like, I don't know, Obafemi. So maybe that could be the long-term goal right there with Roman's current title reign. Now, although this spring and summer have been full of Roman appearances, what still feels a little bit empty, in my opinion, is the overall story with the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. Let's go back to 2020 and go all the way to about 2023. Roman and the Bloodline story, it was so rich, it was detailed, it felt like it had a lot of weight to it at all times. So many different layers to their story together. So many things constantly happening here and there and overlapping and creating lots of tension and drama. You had in-ring segments with the whole group that pushed the story forward, and then you had backstage segments that really added special story details and nice touches. But then, let's turn it over to 2026, and I just think none of that feels like it's really there with the Bloodline and Roman story anymore. We know that they're united. I mean, we saw on the Raw before Summerslam that they all arrived at the show together, right? But the Bloodline doesn't even interact with each other during the show. It's kind of hard to remember the last time that Roman Reigns and the other Bloodline members even shared a conversation with each other on screen. They've weirdly been keeping them away from each other during this whole build-up to SummerSlam. Now, it is understandable that Roman doesn't want their physical help dealing with Seth Rollins. He doesn't want them out there with him for those moments with Seth. That's understandable. But we really don't see any backstage conversation going on between Roman and the rest of the group anymore. No communication. No words being exchanged at all. Just nothing there on screen. And I think that really hurts the storyline here because on the one hand, they're telling us that, yeah, Roman and the Bloodline are together. But then on the other hand, they're just kind of keeping them apart from each other. So I think it's just pretty strange that outside of a quick moment of them arriving at Raw together, we just never see Roman and the rest of the Bloodline interacting with each other on the show anymore. And that plays a role in why the Bloodline overall just feels a bit flat right now. They need those interactions with Roman Reigns on screen, and they need more story to them, for sure. Same thing with Roman's usage as well. Sure, he's been on a lot of shows this spring and summer, right? But have they been using Roman to his full potential during these Raw appearances? I think that's up for debate as well. You got a lot of fans saying that Roman's appearances are all kind of starting to blend together and feel the same. He comes out there, he talks for a few minutes, maybe has a brawl, and that's pretty much it. Now, nobody's saying that he has to wrestle on Raw, but I mean, just small backstage moments and different types of segments that really push narratives forward, I think that would be a lot more exciting to see from Roman Reigns as well, just to shake things up from the usual talking segments. Hopefully, coming out of SummerSlam, we're going to start to see Roman and the Bloodline actually cross paths again, and hopefully that starts picking up immensely here as the calendar starts to head into the fall months. Becky Lynch recently spoke with the female quotient, and she got into some great conversation there about praising the women's division. And she also spoke about what the future of WWE is going to look like. Becky Lynch had this specifically to say, quote, I'm so proud of the women's division in WWE. Totally changed the game. At one point, I don't think anybody would have thought that we would have had intercontinental titles, tag titles, US titles, main event, WrestleMania. We've done it all. I don't really sit back and think about what we've done because I'm always like, where are we going? Let's keep going. Let's keep moving. I feel very optimistic about where we're going in the future because we have incredibly talented women that are doing amazing stuff. When I look at the future of WWE and I think of the main eventers who are going to be our biggest stars, most of the time I don't think of the men, I think of the women, end quote. And a lot of fans agreed with Becky Lynch's comments right there that when she looks deep into the future, she feels like there is going to be more women on top of the company, way more female megastars than male megastars. And a good supporting piece of evidence to this claim by Becky is the current NXT roster. I mean, when you look at the NXT women's roster, they're beyond loaded. They have so many well beyond established names, and a large majority of them seem ready to be called up and destined to be top stars in the company. And then you look at the NXT men's division, and I mean, they have solid stars as well, but they just don't seem to have the depth of star power that the NXT women's division has. So when Becky says that she sees the future of the WWE really being in the women's division, definitely seems like a real possibility. And that's why they needed to create the women's mid-card titles. There is so much great talent there that just 2 world titles aren't enough. They needed those mid-card titles for the women's division. Now, have the mid-card titles in the women's division been getting great booking as of late? No, not really. But if they work on the booking of those titles, I think they really could create a special space there in the mid-card scene for the women's division. Because again, the star power and the talent, it's definitely there. Grayson Waller has been on the main roster since 2023, and he initially had a lot of hype surrounding him. I mean, he even had a television match against Edge during Edge's final months with WWE. Seemed like he was destined for great things. But I think what ultimately failed him was how he was used. They put him in the tag team with Austin Theory, and when Austin got hurt, they just threw him into the New Day to be a third wheel there. And now, when the New Day parted ways with WWE recently, that just left Grayson Waller back at square one with nothing to do again. Well, Grayson Waller made a surprise return to NXT this week with a great promo that many fans are labeling as a pipe bomb. He sent jabs at the NXT men's division, he made fun of his own usage on the main roster, and he did a great job of reminding everybody exactly who he is. Now, Grayson Waller was going nowhere on the main roster over the last 3 years. But here, in one night in NXT, I think he has fully repaired himself and he's putting himself back on track. You know, CM Punk and several other superstars, they acknowledged Grayson Waller's promo and they gave him a lot of props for it. Seems like this is a full NXT return for Grayson Waller, which is definitely much better than remaining lost in the shuffle on the main roster, right? So Grayson Waller is instantly a big threat in the main event scene of the NXT men's division. And yeah, we're just going to have to see what he gets done in NXT this time around and what it turns into. But anyway, what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.